Hello, I'm Tenith Kanishka Mendes, student number 2019-176. This is presentation for assignment 1, report on contemporary external strategic environment. So first, we will go through the content of the presentation. First, we will discuss about the industry. Second, key trends and drivers. Third, industry analysis. Fourth, the key dimensions. 5, scenarios. 6, what is the most likely to happen. So the first about the industry. So I have selected global scale automobile industry as the industry for my study. And the segment is personal car and light truck segment. And the current industry size of this segment is 65 million units per year. And the revenue generated per year is 20,300 million US dollars. And the largest manufacturing country is China, which is manufacturing 30 million units per year. And the largest brand is famous Japanese brand Toyota, having about 10% of the total market share. So with that, let's move to key trends and drivers of this industry. So I have listed few major key trends, and under each there are few sub key trends. So we will discuss in detail what are these in later slides. So let's go through one by one here. First one is technical development. Under technical development, there will be autonomous vehicles, connected vehicles, flying cars, electric vehicles, 3D printed vehicles. Second one is government regulations. Under government regulations, there will be appearance to car, regulations to appearance of the car, safety features, fuel economy, and emission limitations. Then the fourth is new customer behavior. Under new customer behavior, we will discuss about online shopping, shared mobility, increasing urban population. Fourth one is new business to business behavior. Under this, I have listed as partnerships because this industry is well known and very famous for partnerships. And fifth is existing product become obsolete. So under this, I have listed gasoline engine. So with that, let's move to the industry analysis and we'll discuss in depth about these trends. So first, will car be driven by its own? Will there be fully autonomous car? The answer will be yes, because Tesla has already done it. The Tesla cars are fully autonomous and successful on the road. And Google and Apple and other tech giants are doing their research. And in near future, there will be more successful autonomous car in the road. So next is about the road driving. So what do you think? What will happen to the road driving in near future? So this image just flew in. It's actually not from Star Wars. This is an actual prototype which was developed by SkyDrive, a Japanese company. This elegant design is a successful flying car which is done at pilot scale. So this will hit the road. This will hit the market in near future. And when this hits, the road traffic will be a part of the history only. Then how about refilling fuel using car? So this is Tesla S model, which can do 600 kilometer per charge. Actually, that is much better than our traditional gasoline cars, which doesn't do more than 600 kilometers per one full tank of fuel. And this will be the future. Actually, this is not only the future; it's a present, but it will be very strong in the future. Another thing is 3D printed cars. So this, what you are seeing here, is the Blade. The Blade is the first successful 3D printed supercar. So basic advantage in a 3D printed car for a customer is the customer can do a lot of customization to his car without much additional cost. Let's say if you want a big buffer to the car, with big front buffer, that customer can do that without additional cost, or a spoiler. It is also possible without additional cost, and maintenance will be lesser because the number of parts gets together is lesser in a 3D printed car. So those will be the main advantage in a 3D printed car. So with that, let's move to the government regulation. So first, let's discuss why government is so interested about this industry. According to WHO, World Health Organization, 1.3 million people are losing their lives because due to road traffic injuries. And 28% of the total global greenhouse emission is done by automobile industry, and that is the single largest source of greenhouse gas emission. So basically, because of these two reasons, all the governments and a lot of non-profitable agencies like World Health Organization are very keen on implying restrictions on the industry to protect human lives and the environment. So one area which is going to impact appearance, because the designer always have limitations. I mean, what is the size of the passenger cabin, and where should be the seat belts, where should be the airbags, kind of safety restrictions. So, and safety features, what are safety features to go into the car, and what is the fuel economy, because it is the single largest source of carbon dioxide emission. So all these are adding to the cost and hitting the bottom line of the company. And next is new customer behavior. According to KPMG research, 51% of consumers are preferring online buying over physical buying. So what is the impact on this on the automobile industry? Because personal car is the one primary usage of personal car in the family is go for shopping. When it's come to second to the going to the office, the second most important thing is going to shopping. So if this shopping becomes online, the people will not do physical shopping in future. So that is impacting the sale of personal cars. And shared mobility. So especially people in urban environment and young generation is trend to share their ride with someone else because of economical reason and social reason, and increasing urban population. So what is happening to urban population? According to population division of United Nations, the urban population is 50-50 will be 68% compared to 56% in 2020. This is a huge increase. With the urban population, people will try to use smaller cars, and they will mostly use public transportation such as buses and trains because of the developed infrastructure. And next is new business to business behavior. Basically, the major impact is partnerships. As example, I can get the famous supercar Benz McLaren. It was developed by Benz together with Benz and McLaren as a partnership to get a much better car. So these partnerships are happening in the industry to give a better product to the market. It will happen in the future, and it will shape the future in a different way. So next, last but not least, is the legacy of Carl Benz. This gentleman in the screen is Mr. Carl Benz, a German engineer who has done one of the greatest invention in human history. It is a practical vehicle engine. So his design, the design of the Carl Benz, served humankind more than 130 years. But unfortunately, according to the British Petroleum, our fuel deposit will not last more than 50 years. So we will have to go for new energy sources. We will have to say goodbye to the internal combustion engine or IC engine. So with that, let's move into the grids with scenarios. Here I have taken 4 scenarios into 2 grids. Let's see what are the scenario and what is the most favorable scenario. So I have in grid 1, I have taken autonomy versus electrification. Grid 2, I have taken shared mobility and high safety features. So sorry, out of these 2, I have taken grid 1 as most likely scenario, and why we will discuss in later side of the presentation. In this first scenario, I have taken as Coruscant, scenario 1, Coruscant. Coruscant is the famous planet from Star Wars. Because the scenario 1 is high-tech scenario, I have taken this high-tech planet from Star Wars, Coruscant. Scenario 2, it is full electrical plus traditional IC engine. I have given it name as Captain Green. And scenario 3 is a bit of a traditional way of looking at the automobile, IC engine with manual driving. So I have given long live the king. Scenario 4 is fully autonomous vehicle with traditional EV engine plus maybe or maybe not some electrification. So these are the 4 scenarios. Now let's see about each and every one. First one, the Coruscant scenario. In Coruscant scenario, the driving will be fully automated. There is no man behind the wheel. So that will release a lot of hazards from the driver. And full electrification will be there. Car will be fully electrical. There will be no emission, no fuel burning, and maintenance will be minimized. Because in IC engine, there are more than like thousands of parts gets together to build an IC engine. But when it comes to the case of electrical car, the assemblies are very lesser than IC engine. So maintenance minimum, because there is no fuel changing, there is no filter changing. It's only a motor and other related running parts. And how about flying cars? So I would like to add flying cars here, because when it's come to autonomy plus electric cars, definitely flying car will be included in the pack. So scenario 2 is Captain Green. Here the driver will still be there, but definitely there will be restrictions from government to add more electronic support to the driver to eliminate driver errors and to give a better understanding to the drivers, such as blind spot monitoring. And the other area of this scenario is full electrical car. As we discussed earlier, the same features will come here as for the Coruscant scenario. So this sorry, scenario 3 is long live the king. As I told earlier, this is a piece of traditional way of looking at future car, because the manual driver will be there and engine will be IC engine. But when this IC engine will be restricted to have a electrical drive as a hybrid vehicle which we are having today, because we need to restrict, governments will need to restrict the fuel consumption of vehicle to reduce the greenhouse emission, which is becoming one of the greatest problem to the mankind survival. Then speed will mostly be optimized to save fuel, because IC engine is giving the maximum efficiency at certain speed, so speed will be restricted or optimized. Scenario 4 is young in mind. Here I'm suggesting that automation or driving will be fully autonomous, driving will done by itself, and IC engine will be there, same as in future scenario, previous scenario. So let's see with the certainty matrix what will be the most possible scenario in future. So in certainty matrix, in high occurrence to high impact, I have placed Coruscant, and high impact not certain, I have placed young in mind. Low impact not certain, I have placed long live the king. High certain, low impact, I have certain Captain Green. So out of this, I'm arguing that Coruscant will be the most possible scenario. So let's see why it is going to be the most possible scenario. High certainty. Why Coruscant scenario become high certainty? Because first and most important reason is the amount of resources goes into the research of this area. From the total research funds available for automobile industry, 21% is allocated for automation of the vehicle and 17% is allocated for electrification. So altogether, for this Coruscant scenario, 38% is allocated. So it means definitely this future is we can say this future is going to happen. And regulation, again, vehicle emission. So when we go for electrification, there will be no emission. There will be no impact on environment, no impact on greenhouse emission. So this will be very favorable in future. And gasoline era is coming to an end. As discussed earlier, according to British Petroleum, we will not have fuel deposits after 50 years in future. So definitely we will have to go for new energy sources, and the next best energy source to come is electricity. So this is another reason why this Coruscant scenario is high certain to happen. The next scenario is high impact. The industry will redefine with new vehicle driving system, because now people are willing to get rid of this IC engine. I mean, driving is IC engine based driving system, because there are a lot of parts, lot of maintenance, and assembly is not that easy. So industry will reshape to a smaller, faster way of manufacturing cars with IC engine goes out of the equation. And the environmental impact will be lesser, as we discussed earlier, and safety will improve, because most of the road accidents happen because of negligence or something wrong with the driver. When driver goes out of the equation, the robot who's replacing driver or the automated car will not break the traffic laws. It will follow the rules to the letter. So there will be roadside accidents will be very lesser, and market will be full converted very easily, because people are already very enthusiastic about this EV and automation. And as we discussed about low maintenance, people will not have to waste their time and money on car maintenance, because no oil changes, no filter changes, nothing. So with that, I wind up my presentation. Thank you so much.